So if you watched the fights over the weekend, you would have seen Sean Strickland unfortunately lose his title to Duplessis. And I didn't watch it straight up. I was busy. Or I don't know. Yeah, I was. I was busy, but not busy enough that I couldn't watch it, I guess. But I didn't watch it. But I did watch some of the highlights and caught myself up. And apparently, it was a fairly close fight. There was a headbutt that could have been the difference. I don't know. And then Duplessis was more, he was more on the takedown. Sean Strickland had more strikes, significant strikes, I should say. So whatever. I mean, what I don't like about that is you're leaving this to judges, right? When you leave it to judges, is like, if you watched, so for example, back in the day, I'm a huge GSP fan, but GSP, when he fought, God, what was his name? Farmer dude. Anyways, he got his fucking lights beat in. GSP looked beat up, and he wasn't able to do what GSP does, and he still won the fight. And they said, well, in order to beat the champ, you got to beat the champ. Well, in this case, I would think the same thing then. If you're going to use that, then, I don't think Sean Strickland was beat. But anyways, that's just my opinion. So I'm going to read, hold on. I'm going to read this article here. This is MMA Knockout. Just a little bit of something about Strickland. And, obviously we know that Strickland got into, if you're watching this, you probably know. Strickland got into a little bit of hot water over some of his comments. He was saying about like wokeness and LGBT and all this stuff. He had some things to say, so he's kind of been ranting off a little bit about that. But anyways, I'll read this article here. This is MMA Knockout. It says Sean Strickland receives backlash from UFC champion for shocking rants. One UFC champion has responded to Sean Strickland over his harsh pre-UFC 297 comments. Strickland fought Duplessis in the main event in UFC 297 on Saturday night. It was a highly competitive title fight that went the distance. In the end, 2 of 3 judges scored the fight for Duplessis, awarding him the split decision win in the UFC Middleweight Championship. While Strickland was lauded for his efforts, one current title holder hasn't forgotten about his controversial comments pre-event. Okay, so here, before I even get there, take a guess who it might be. You think it's a man? You think it's a woman? Woman. Raquel Pennington also competed in a title fight in UFC 297, defeating Mayra Bueno Silva to capture the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship. Prior to the UFC 297 event, Strickland got into a verbal spat with MMA reporter Alexander K. Lee over past comments on the LGBT community. I guess no Q in there. Over UFC, both UFC CEO Dana White and Sean Strickland felt the reporter was baiting. Strickland went off on the media member, claiming he was pushing an agenda that he said he didn't want his kids to be taught about sexual preference. Now, and see, that's what's funny about it to me. I don't know how that is a controversial thing. I wouldn't want my kids being taught about sexual preference either. Just let them be kids. Just, how about we just wait and let them figure that shit out? We get the internet and stuff. You're going to teach them. What are you going to teach them? Like, you're basically indoctrinating them. So just let them figure out what they're going to figure out and leave it the heck out. Like, let them, I don't know. I don't know any kids that are just all about that shit unless they're being told to be all about that shit. So anyways, Pennington, who is openly lesbian, responded to Strickland's rants during an interview with Sportsnet's Aaron Bronsteter. Honestly, I love when they got to quote exactly. How about you just take the lice out, but whatever. Honestly, for people that it hurts my heart to pass so much judgment, Pennington said. Smart statement. At the end of the day, the things he says doesn't impact my life, and it's never going to impact my life. It's not going to change what I'm doing and how happy I am and how full my heart is. But things that are said like that and the judgment that's passed, it really impacts people. Stuff like that is not okay. I honestly ignored all the noise this week, so it was just outside distractions. I heard about it just because I was doing so much media. Other than that, it is what it is. Okay. Well, I mean, that's how you should take it. Just who gives a shit? Like, whatever. People have opinions. Who cares? Strickland had also trashed Pennington's co-main event fight with Silva prior to the show. he told reporters that it almost seemed like the UFC needed to satisfy a quota in booking the championship bout. That's kind of nasty. I was never, okay, so I'll just sidebar here. I was never really a fan to begin with women's fighting, but I had to eat my hat on that one because honestly, if you watch women fight, they're good. They're really good. They're really good. They're really good fighters. It's very entertaining, but I still have an ick factor. I don't like watching women punch each other out and stuff. I don't like to see women bleeding, but that's just the male whatever protector chauvinist in me that's coming out there. But you know, if they want to do it, go nuts. Sometimes I just don't particularly want to watch, especially when it's when it's fairly bloody or that kind of thing. But it's very good. Like, I got to give them credit. They are the talent pool in the female fighting sphere has grown so much more than the men's because it started so much less. It's almost like watching, it's like watching the inception of a sport and watching it grow before your eyes, right? So, anyways, but okay. So Raquel revealed that Dana White even checked on her to see how she was handling the situation prior to the final UFC 297 pre-fight press conference. Whatever, who cares? So, anyways, so that's it for that article. Good enough. Sean Strickland, yeah, you know what? He's one of those kind of guys that's not really going to mince words, it's kind of like Trump. Like we were just talking about Trump. Same type of thing. He's just going to say how it is. But I don't think he has a lot of like hatred in him about it. I just think there's like that old sort of style conservative in him that's coming out and saying, look, I just don't want any of that shit. Don't push that shit on me. And, he's probably a very, don't tread on me kind of guy, right? Like, so I feel for him because I feel kind of the same way. I don't need to know what your sexual preference is. I don't give a shit. If you're gay, straight, you like tulips, I don't fucking care. Whatever. Do your thing. I don't think it should just be in like everything we talk about. Before we have a conversation, let's talk about our pronouns and shit. Oh, fuck that, but we just talk. Whatever. Anyways, okay. So sorry, Strickland, that you lost the belt, and but it was still funny with all the stuff he said.